face all sad up. Woo woo. My computer's being a bit of a slow roll today. Looks like I'm teaching blind today. Isn't that fun? Okay, no big deal. All right. Wow, I must have called it this morning when I named this having to do with something having to do with chaos, because chaos is around me. So what you're going to need for class today is blocks, water. I always have a tissue nearby, a crumpled up tissue. It's probably super professional looking. And a blanket if you have it nearby. You might want 1 or 2 blankets, who knows. It's kind of chilly this morning, so whatever you need is what you're going to use. The class today is going to be geared more to bringing ourselves into a more grounded space, maybe finding a little bit more length in places that we feel tight. And I would really like to focus on stretching, lengthening, exploring the body, while also focusing on the healing part of using our breath while we're in posture and out of posture. And of course, keeping the mind focused on the body, but not becoming so involved in the body that we lose our practice. You know, we don't just let our little monkey mind become our practice. So I'll get more into that because I talk constantly through class once we start. So as usual, please lay down on your mats. As I mentioned earlier, I am teaching blind today, which just means it feels like I'm teaching to myself. Laying down onto your mat, one arm on top of the other, letting your forehead rest onto your arms, and closing your eyes. So we start most classes like this. Most classes are typically you laying down on your mat. We do it on purpose. It's so that we can ground, get into ourselves, figure out what's going on in our bodies. So taking deep breaths into the abdomen, feeling the belly expand. And then as you exhale, feeling the belly contract. And really just letting that breath exploration happen. So we're feeling the body move with the breath? Or are we feeling the breath move with the body? What came first, the chicken or the egg? And just allowing yourself this opportunity to keep breathing deeply, smoothly, and noticing the parts of your body that are resistant to your breath. So the dark parts within us that we can't seem to access a feeling in. Most of the time, we can feel this breath moving into our chest and our abdomens and our waist and our ribs. So even into the back of the body, the upper back, because the lungs have a back side, obviously. But can we feel our breath moving into our hips and our glutes? And obviously, if we think about this on a purely anatomical way, your breathing is not going, your respiratory system does not reach your glutes. But our attention does, and breath pulls in prana. That's the whole point here. We're moving prana, or energy force, through the body. So as you inhale, you can imagine your attention and your energy moving to different parts of your body. And as you exhale, you can feel that energy and attention moving out. Not that there's any point in which you don't have the prana within you, but we kind of move the prana around. So maybe you can now feel the glutes because I mentioned them. But can you feel the place where the buttocks and the thighs touch? So that space right before you become thighs, that space where the buttocks end and the thighs begin. Can you feel the space on the outsides of the glutes? The space on the outside of the thigh? What about right behind your knee? What about the front of the middle toe on your left foot? So just looking around, seeing if you can explore all of the parts of your body. And then noticing any feedback that comes from those parts. Is there tension? Is there tightness? Do you feel pain or discomfort? Are you resisting? Are you squeezing something tight here? How is your jaw set? Do you have any mobility in the jaw or the cheeks or the tongue? Maybe one more breath like this. Awesome. Go ahead and bend your knees. Place your feet or your legs about mat distance apart, and start to let your legs roll from side to side. So as the legs roll from side to side, we're allowing the hips to release a little bit. We're letting the lower back loosen up. Maybe the legs touch the floor. Maybe they're moving sporadically. Maybe they're moving really slow. Maybe you can take a moment and notice how fast or slow your legs are moving, and see what happens if you either quicken the speed if you're moving slow, or slow the speed if you're moving fast, and just see how that feels. We have an inclination towards one or the other usually. It's not typically a steady movement at the beginning. And then maybe one more time from side to side. Awesome. And then come right back into center and extend those legs. We'll go ahead and press the hands into the floor, and we're going to draw back into a child's pose. The knees will stay wide, but the big toe mounts of the feet, we're going to move together. We're going to draw the hips back as far as we can, and let the head come to the floor, or to a blanket, or to a block. Stretching out the arms wherever they need to go. Letting yourself even place a blanket underneath your buttocks and onto your heels if you want to give you a little bit more height. And just because you're sitting back into your child's pose doesn't mean you stop breathing. So start to circle the breath through your body here as well. See if you can feel, as you inhale, the body starting to lengthen itself back a little bit more. Maybe there's a rounding that comes into the upper back. And then as you exhale, if you can feel the weight of your body shift towards the mat a little bit more. So you're looking for this really slow, steady breath exchange. Take one more breath like this. Let's start to move the arms over to the left, finding that nice stretch to the left side. We do this often. Move your right arm away from you and just notice your breath coming into the right side of your body, as if you can expand the right rib cage, because you're having a gentle contraction on the left. So really breathing into the space that you've created in this right side. And then take it all the way across over to the right. It's the same thing though. So as you lean to the right, you have that slight contraction on the right side, but you're gonna breathe into your left. really trying to expand that left side of your body and breathe into the left lung. And then coming right back into center. And then let's expand both sides so that left and right side gets a lot of space. And we breathe into both sides evenly. And then we'll go ahead and move forward into hands and knees. The knees are going to come underneath the hips. The hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to focus on the movement of our cat-cow being a little slower today. So typically, if I ask you to do cat-cow, you just start to move the body in that cat-cow motion. Sometimes it looks like we're twerking. But in this case, I'd like you to take it as slowly as you can. So the tailbone's going to lift, the belly's going to release. We're going to lift up through the chest, roll the shoulders back, and lift the chin. And then as we exhale, we're going to reverse the action. So you're going to pull your chin to your chest first. Then start to round the upper back. Then the mid back. Then the lower back. Then tilt the pelvis and bring everything in. And then as you inhale, start from the tail. Release the tailbone. Release the hip points. Release the lower abdomen, the belly, the ribs, and then once the ribs come down, let's open up the front of the chest and lift the chin. Good. So slow and steady. Start from the chin with your exhale. Chin comes in, starting to round, roll, incremental movements across the spine. And then as we inhale, start from the tail. Tailbone releases, lower belly, abdomen, ribs, chest, head. Good, do that a couple more times. So we're just starting from one position and working our way back. And then we're starting from the back position and working our way front. The beautiful thing about having a yoga practice, whether it's with me or just doing yoga at the same time every day or around the same time every day, is that when the whole world goes into chaos mode, you have your practice, and that keeps you balanced. It keeps you in some state of non-chaos, of normality, right? We function better when we feel like not everything around us is completely out of control. And lately, we don't really have a lot of control. So relying on your practice is super important now. Giving yourself the opportunity to control the little bits that you can. Your lifestyle, your way of living, your decisions on how you move through your day. One more time, just like that, really just drawing all of this attention, all of this breath, all of this attention into moving slowly, incrementally through the spine. And not just throwing your body around. There are times that works and times that doesn't. Today it's going to be one of those slow, controlled motions. Bring your spine to a neutral position once you finish that last one. We're going to take this a little bit deeper now. We're going to start to move into the side body. So as you exhale here, you're going to round through your, excuse me, let me think of a better way to say that. You're going to pull your left rib in towards your left rib cage and hip bone, and then you're going to round that right side, and then we'll inhale to center. So you're squeezing one rib to one hip, and then rounding through the opposite side. Here's my left side lifted. And then I'm going to inhale back to center. Squeezing through my left and right, I will round my back on my right side. And then inhale, lower back to center. So exhaling, rounding into the left, but pulling that right and hip and rib together, and inhaling to center. And this is an easier one to do slow. If you try to do this really fast, it starts just to look like a regular cat-cow. So becoming really aware, really adapting into the body here, finding that you can access the left and right side simultaneously, right? It doesn't all have to be front body, back body. You can access into your left and into your right. It's going to feel different. There's different organs. There's different work that happens from both sides. So we go from one side, we draw back into center with our inhale, we exhale to the other side. We're squeezing the oblique as well. So you're adding in a little bit of abdominal work and you're massaging the digestive organs. One more time, in center, and then wherever you are, just round that last side and come back into center again. You've been on your hands for a while, so roll back into your heels and rotate your wrists. Open and close your hands. Find whatever massage you might need here into the palms. Awesome. Maybe stretch out the fingers and then come right back into hands and knees. Very nice. We're going to walk those hands forward, tuck our toes under, and we're going to engage the core as we hover the knees off the ground. So again, really trying to isolate the body here. Find the flow in your body. Find how moving slowly can open up parts that you might not even know were there. So then from this position, we keep the knees slightly bent, we push the buttocks back a little more, we start to bring the chest down, and then we start to straighten the legs, and they're going to go to whatever direction they need to. So if straightening your legs means your heels have to come up nice and high for right now, go ahead and enjoy that. Really find the lift in the heels. Shake out your head, bring your chest a little closer to your thighs, really look for some space in the back of the body, in the legs, in the arms, in the spine. And then from here, go ahead and walk out your dog, but instead of just holding or walking in place here, we're gonna hold one knee bent and just lower the opposite heel to the floor. And you're gonna hold this one position, just giving yourself some time to stretch out behind the legs. Spread your hands, try not to take all that weight into your wrist, and then switch. Go ahead and bend the opposite knee and lower the opposite heel towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. Notice you're shifting your weight from hand to hand as well, so really try to square up the shoulders. And then go ahead and do that one more time. I know you're still on your hands, it probably feels a little tiring, so just give me one more time on each side. And last one. Last transition. And then lift both heels and the buttocks up to the sky. Stay on the toes and let's walk our feet forward towards our hands, pulling our belly button towards our spine and really pushing into the floor, really trying to get the feet right between our hands as best as we can. And then from here, for those of you who like to use blocks, go ahead and just place them on the lowest height next to your feet and make sure your feet are hip distance apart so your hands can take their fists and be between your hands or your feet. Press through your feet, rise all the way up, and come into mountain pose. So again, this is a good time to adjust your clothes. Palms are going to face forward here so that we can start to open the chest. Shoulder blades are going to descend, and I'm going to have you bend your knees just a little bit so you can find that rebound that comes from bending your knees. So pressing your feet into the floor, notice how as you push your feet into the floor, you can almost feel the body start to stand up a little taller from the lower back up to the head. So a little bend just for a moment. And then keep the strength in the legs as you straighten your legs. So as you straighten them, pull the thigh muscle up and in. Don't just push the knees back. Lift the hip points, so the front hip points. Feel the descent of the tailbone, but you're not drawing the tailbone in and tucking like a cowering dog, which is a sad thought. Hips lift, tailbone descends back. Then find that lift in the side body. So you're lifting from the waist, but you're also lifting in the side ribs. You're lifting through the center of your chest. The ribs are going to move in just a little bit so you're not hyper pushed. And then letting those palms face forward as the shoulders draw down. This will give us that nice plumb line, that ear, shoulder, side rib, side hip, side knee, side ankle. And then from here, we're going to reach the arms all the way up. Big stretch to the sky. Grab hold of your left wrist and pull gently to the right. As you pull to the right, try not to spin your hips. Keep the hips facing forward. You can turn your head to the left. Take some big deep breaths here, all along the left side body, right? All along the left ribs. Maybe into the outside of your left hip. Maybe into the outside of your left thigh, ankle, knee. And then inhale, come back into center, grab your right wrist, pull up first, and then lean to the left. Breathe into the whole right side body, maybe turn the head past the arm. Find all that space you can. Try not to hyperextend your knees. Strong legs so you're pushing out of the body and pushing into the ground. One more breath. Inhale, come back into center. Relax the hands, relax the wrists. And then exhale and draw the arms back and behind you. See if you can find that interlace through your fingers, or maybe the hands just come to the lower back. Whatever works for you, the shoulders are going to draw down. We're going to lift the center of the chest without pushing everything forward, and really try to get some height in the front of the throat and chest area. So we're lifting up through here. Good. Not hyperextending the knees, not pushing everything forward, not pushing the buttocks forward, which is a tendency most of us have. Press into the feet, engage the legs, and lift. Awesome. Breathe here. Let there be breath. Keep your body in this position, keeping the core strong to protect the lower back. And let's see what happens if we lift the arms by the ears. So now we're just taking a backwards or a back bend in the upper back. Really reaching up and out, but not moving the ribs away from each other. Excellent. Exhale, bring the hands together, place them right in front of your heart. Lift the center of your chest towards your thumbs, roll the shoulder blades down. Inhale, open the arms wide, bring the shoulder blades together. Let there be a big stretch in the front of the chest here, especially for those of us who have to work at computers all day. And then exhale, and let's bring ourselves into a hug. So grabbing hold of the shoulders in whatever manner feels good, and bringing the chin to the chest, and just giving yourself a little hug here. Inhale, open the arms wide, find the shoulder blades drawing back, big stretch. And then exhale, hug on the opposite side, so the opposite hand is on top. Inhale, bringing it open. And then exhaling, bringing it right back down. Inhale, arms come all the way up, big stretch. Exhale, take it all the way down. Let's go all the way into our forward fold. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. Make sure the big toes are in line with each other. Let the weight shift a bit more forward towards the balls of the feet. Maybe bend the knees for a moment here so the hamstrings don't have to overwork to get there. Shake out your head, soften your neck and your jaw. And then on our next inhalation, let's go ahead and lift halfway. So you can place your fingertips onto the floor or blocks, or take your hands to your shins, but I want you to shift forward a little bit. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, step back with your right leg. Take that right leg back as far as you can. Press back through your right heel and let that left knee stay over your ankle. We're going to lower the right knee to the floor, so if you need a blanket under your knee, please place it there. And we're really trying to get that knee back pretty far behind our glutes. The left knee is going to stay over top of the ankle, and we're shifting our weight forward a bit. So we're drawing the hips down and forward, letting there be a stretch, not just in the hips and glute, but also in the front of your right thigh, really opening up that front right thigh. So again, as we talked about earlier, we're focusing on our breath moving energy through our body. So focus that breath in through the nose and see if you can feel the thigh. And if it starts to contract here, breathe into that right thigh. Really breathe. If you need to take some height here so you don't feel like you're collapsing as much, I really like height in this pose. So breathing into that right thigh. Trying to let go of all of its desire to just pull back on you and really letting it be soft. Keep that left knee over your ankle. Stay here for one more breath. Beautifully done. You're going to tuck your back toes. You can take your blocks down to that lower height if you need to. Lift your right leg. And then we're going to carry this right foot forward again. So pressing into this left foot to hinge that right foot forward. We'll inhale and bring our hands to our shins, trying not to overshift here, not trying to bring our hips too far back. And then we're going to exhale and come right back down again. Same thing to the left side. Left leg's going to come back. We'll push back as far as we can with that left heel as we keep the right knee over our ankle. And then we're going to lower that left knee to the floor. Untuck the toes. Take height under the hands if you need to. So you're focusing on your breath into the left thigh. Really bringing the breath in through the nose and imagining you can send that breath right into the front of the left thigh to help lengthen, release, and soften the quadricep muscle. Right knee's over the ankle, shoulders are back and down. I know a lot of us have been doing a lot more walking lately and maybe even running or cycling. So we really want to focus on breathing into the parts of the body that are going to be tight from our activities during this quarantine specifically. One more breath here. Awesome. You can take those blocks to a lower height. Remember, we don't just plop around. We really stay controlled in our movements. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, push through your right foot, and carry that left foot forward. Inhale, come up halfway, find that space, shift the weight forward just a bit, and then exhale, take it all the way back down again. Inhale, taking that right leg back again, so we're back into our lunge. This time lowering the right knee down just right away, untucking the toes, it already knows its position here. And we're gonna keep this right hand onto the block or the floor, keep the left knee over the ankle, and we're gonna place the left hand onto the left thigh. We'll press down into the left thigh so that we can start to rotate the chest a little bit more. Not moving the knee out, keeping the knee over the ankle, keeping the hips forward, not rotating inwards. And then from here, we're going to lift this left arm up so that as we rotate through the spine, through the chest, through the core, and we don't drop the right shoulder into the ear, we start to become really aware of what's going on in the body. Right? So we know if this is a lackluster pose for us, if we feel like this is really hard to open. We can feel where the resistance is on the spine. We can learn from that. We don't have to just be like, let's just twist deeper. Learn from your resistance. Exhale, lower that left hand down to the block. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, push back through your heel, and then step that right foot forward. Again, halfway, coming up a little higher on these so that our head comes about as high as the hips. And then exhale, come back down. Each time you come down, see if your forward fold's been addressed at all by your hamstrings. Let's go ahead and step back with our left. Pushing that, or letting that left knee rest on the floor, untucking the toes, right knee over your ankle, lifting through the center of the chest. We're starting here, we know this position. Maybe the hand stays on the block, maybe it comes to the floor. The right hand comes to the right thigh, and we start to rotate first. Using the pressure on this right thigh to help us rotate the spine, but not to tweak or torque anything, just a little bit of engagement. Roll the shoulders down, push through your right big toe, lift your right arm up, find the shoulders drawing away from your ears. Stay breathing. Stay strong in the posture, but notice where you're resisting it. Is it in the back? Is it in the hips? Are you trying to pull out through the glutes? One more breath. Exhale, lower right back down, right hand to the block, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, press through your right foot, and carry this left foot forward. Inhale as you come up halfway, exhale as you come right back down. So now we start to feel some warmth in the glute, or excuse me, warmth in the quadriceps a little bit here, the front of the thighs, maybe even the sides of the thighs. You can bend your knees, shake out your head. If you don't feel that warmth, it's okay. Maybe you feel that warmth somewhere else. Beautiful. Hands come down to the blocks or floor again. Let's step that right foot back again. So this time you have the option of putting the right knee on the ground or keeping it lifted. Yes, we are back into a lunge. I know a lot of you are like, no more lunges. Left knee's coming forward, right heel's coming back. We're finding that nice strong lunge. We're here for about 2 breaths. Last one. Awesome. So then let's go ahead and take that left arm up, and even though the right knee's up maybe, if it's down, that's fine. Take that left arm up, roll the shoulders back, and then bend the left elbow. And what happens if we take the left hand to our lower back or wrap it around the front of the right hip? Maybe we can still push the right heel back and keep the left knee over the ankle, opening up the chest and breathing here. Stay with it. I know it's a long lunge. Last breath, don't roll your left knee out. Awesome. If your right knee is not on the floor, it's going to go down now, okay? Right knee comes down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Keep the right hand on your lower back and let's left hand on your lower back and lift your right arm up. We're going to take this left hand to the outside of the right knee and we're going to twist just a little more. Awesome. One more breath. Good job, guys. Bring the arms to center, reach up. We're going to stretch this left firing thigh. So we're bringing the hands down, taking the blocks to the highest height, and straightening this left leg as we lift the toes off the ground. That probably feels pretty good at this point. Hold here and breathe. Move the hips back, but try not to shift the hips over to the right or left too much. Stay right into the center. I know some of us can sit back on the heel. I'd like you to keep from doing that for right now. I want you to find the stretch in the spine and in the leg. If you have to be on the floor, your hands are on the floor. Holding here about 3 more breaths. One last breath. Awesome. Go ahead and bend that left knee. Take those blocks to the low height again if you're using them. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, push through your left foot and carry that right foot forward. Let's go halfway, shifting that weight a bit more forward to the balls of the feet. Exhale on your way down. See what's happening inside the legs here. And notice I say inside the legs. There's a lot of musculature inside the skin, right? You really want to be aware of what's going on inside them. Maybe the left leg feels different than the right, that's okay. Step the left foot back. And again, you have the choice. Your knee can be on the floor here if you want to, or you can keep the knee lifted. Right knee's coming forward, left heel's coming back. We're going back into that twisted position. So the left hand's going to stay under the shoulder. We'll lift the right arm up first. Try not to open that right knee away from you, or let your left heel tilt. Keep the left heel pointed up. Reach up, and then what happens if we bend the elbow and take that that right hand behind us, and maybe it wraps around the hip, but maybe it doesn't. Notice if you start to come out of your lunge here. Draw yourself back into that strong lunge. Push back through the heel as you press forward through the knee. Roll the shoulders back. Stay breathing. Try not to roll to the pinky toe side of your right foot. Stay strong in the inner thigh. Keep breathing. Last one. Beautiful. We're going to come down here. So the left knee's going to come down. It's already on the floor. You're halfway there. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take that right hand behind us. Reach that left arm up. Left hand to the outside of the right knee. We're going to twist a little bit deeper here. Holding and breathing. Letting those hips shift forward. Finding maybe some warmth coming into this right thigh muscle. Stay with your inhale and your exhale. Awesome. Let's shift out, turning, reaching the arms up. Place the hands down. Take those blocks to a higher height if you're using them. Start to straighten your right leg. Lift the toes off the mat. Walk those blocks back. Bring the hips back. Just breathe here. So if you do have a tendency to run or walk or bike a lot more now, you might be feeling this pretty quickly into your legs. It might be a pretty warm feeling. And not like a warm, comfy hug feeling, more like a throbbing, burning feeling. One more, maybe 3 more breaths. Maybe the hips come back a little further, but we still keep the stretch, right? Maybe the hands are on the blocks at a lower height or on the floor. Last 2 breaths. Last one. Awesome. Bend that right knee. Great job, guys. So let's move those blocks out of the way for a moment unless you really need them. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and we're going to step back with our right foot into a plank. So once you're in your plank, you have this nice, strong mountain pose. You're just on your hands and your feet. So you're pushing back through your heels, the top of your head's coming forward, you're moving your lower belly up and in, you're letting your shoulders stay nice and strong, everything's engaged here. Awesome, take one more breath like this. Great job, guys. And then from here, lower just your right knee to the floor. Lift that right knee up, lower just your left knee to the floor. Lift your left knee up, let's do it again. Right knee, and up. Left knee, and up. You can do this on your elbows as well. Right knee, and up. Left knee, and up. One more. Right knee, and up. Breathe. Left knee, and up. Both knees to the floor. Bend your elbows back. Shift your chest down. Lift through the center of your chest. Little hug of the arms here. And then bring it back to down dog or child's pose. If you're really tired, take child's pose. So maybe your down dog is different here. Maybe you'd like to try walking it out again. But maybe you feel like your heels are a little closer to the floor because we've done a lot of lunges. I know we don't really like lunges, but they get the job done. They really do. Awesome. Let's take another breath like this, really strong. Inhale and exhale. Great job. We're going to walk our hands back towards our feet. So walking the hands back all the way towards the feet. Bringing our bodies down into a still forward fold. And then we're going to come all the way up, pressing through our feet, rising up, lifting the arms overhead, big stretch. Awesome. Go ahead and grab hold of that left wrist again, pull gently to the right. Inhale to center, grab that right wrist, pull gently to the left. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, release the arms down. So from here, I'm going to turn so I can face you, just so you can see what's happening. But we're going to go ahead and move through something that's going to help bring our energy up just a little bit. So it's a 4-part movement. It's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Notice I bent my knees. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay? So you can do this with a nice strong breath each time. So let's go ahead and do it together. So slow this first one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push it through. Let's do it a couple more times. Your balance. Your breath, moving nice and steady, same pace, right? So just keeping a steady pace this whole time. Getting the heartbeat up, getting the breath moving through our body, moving with the breath, trying to keep up and steady with our boundaries here, right? Not just throwing ourselves crazy and all over the place, but controlling it. 2 more. Exhale through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, throw it through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Exhale, throw it through. Beautiful. Come all the way up. Exhale, let the arms rest. Still at the back of your mat. Let the feet rest on the floor. Find mountain pose. Notice how you're feeling. See if you can feel that vibration that comes into the body from exerting just a little more. One more breath. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk your hands forward all the way to a plank. Exhale, lower your knees, your chest. Inhale, lift your heart. Good, hold here. Big deep breaths. That past motion was chaos in our bodies, just moving through. Exhale, down dog. Stretch it back. Awesome, 2 more breaths. Last one. And let's go ahead and find that right foot coming forward. So our right foot's in front, the left foot's in the back. We're going to go ahead and keep this lunge nice and strong. From here, we're going to straighten this right leg, keeping that left leg straight as well. This is going to be a nice full exhalation. You might need blocks here, in which case you're going to use them. And then as you inhale, you're going to let the chest come forward, let the knee bend over the ankle. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. You can do this with your back knee on the floor. We've done it before. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you come down a little deeper this time. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, straighten that leg. Let's spin the left heel to the mat. Try to line up that left instep with your right heel. And then let's keep that right hand on the block or the floor behind the ankle. And we're going to start to pull up from that left arm. So as if you're grabbing something off of the ground, pulling it across the front of your body, and lifting it all the way up to the sky. Finding a nice deep triangle pose. Maybe the block needs to be higher so you don't collapse in the side body today. So in that space between your right armpit and your right hip, there should be just as much space there as there is on the left. Opening up the chest, breathing steady. Looking for each inhalation and exhalation to be strong. Notice what parts of your body aren't responding to this and see if you can find them with your breath, find them with your intention. Now take the back of the left hand, let's bring it behind us. Spin that chest. You can take the hand to the lower back or you can grab the thigh, it's up to you. Engage your right thigh muscle, it's always important to do so. Your head is nice, or your neck is nice and long. Shoulders are back. You're almost out of this, just keep breathing though, okay? Last breath. Bring that left arm straight up to the sky again, wiggle out the wrist if you need to. Bend your right knee, take that left hand to your block. Lift your back heel. Place the blocks to the lowest height if you're using them. And then go ahead and step back with your right foot. We're going to go straight to down dog. Hold here. Let everything go. Take a child's pose if you need it, if your wrists are feeling tight. And then let's go ahead and shift to the left. So out of child's pose, left foot comes forward. Keeping the right knee lifted, but there is the possibility of having the right knee on the floor too. Blocks can come to a higher height to give you more access to the pose. Deep breath in. Let's exhale, keep both legs straight, but the left leg's going to straighten a little more and push back through that right heel. Inhale, let the chest come forward, roll your shoulder blades back, push through your right heel, move that left knee forward. Exhale, draw it back. Remember, you can always go lower here if you want to. Inhale, come forward. So we're really just moving and utilizing the breath and the big muscles of the legs here. But we're also moving the knee with control. We're not just shifting forward and backwards and stopping up that knee. Instead, that knee's moving in the same direction backwards and forwards, as if it's going through cattle chutes. I don't know if we ever have people who aren't from PA watching these videos, but cattle chutes are kind of like, you know, the chute a cattle walks down. That's the best I could do for this moment. One more. Beautiful. Finding that breath, and then letting that knee come back. You're going to rotate that right heel back. So you'll need to step the right foot back just a little bit. It's just an alignment issue. You want that right instep in line with your left knee. I have my left knee bent just a little bit to help me here. And then from here, you can straighten that left leg and carry that right arm up. So you're carrying from the floor. It's a heavy, expressive arm. You can take that block up higher. I'm going to do so because I can feel my left side waist is not as long as my right. And I want space there. I want there to be space into my left side crease. You can turn your head and look towards your right thumb. Try not to bring the arm back behind you. Keep the shoulder and the thumb in line. Try not to put all of your weight into this left shoulder either. You're lifting out of the arms, so the arms are reaching apart here. Keep the core engaged, keep breathing. You're here for a little longer, you're doing great though. Stay with that inhale and exhale, move the head away. Let's bend that right elbow. Take that right hand behind us. Maybe it grips the left thigh, maybe it just rests on the lower back, maybe it rests on the right hip. Holding here, rolling the shoulder back. Try not to grip through the toes. Stay open, stay breathing. Try not to let that left shoulder come into the ear. Activate that left arm. Activate that left thigh. Awesome. Let's keep breathing. Keep it here just a little longer, guys. Great job. Left hand stays stable. Right arm comes up. Rotate the wrist. Take that right hand down to the blocks. Take the blocks down low as you bend your left knee and lift your back heel. Move the blocks out of the way. Step back into your plank. Awesome. Hold here, or do individual knees, or drop both knees, core engaged, and lift both knees up. So you're almost coming from a tabletop and then back up again. There's not much movement in the butt. It's mostly just used by the core. Breathing each time. You can do this individual knee, or you can just hold your plank, or you can just take a child's pose, right? 2 more. 1 more. Awesome. Shift right back into your down dog. Slow, deep inhales and exhales. Notice how your heart's beating. See if you can manage that with your breath, if you can slow the breath. Maybe you need to take a child's pose. Maybe you're exploring what's going on in your body as you hold steady. Do 1 more breath like this, really just letting it be what it needs to be. Awesome. Walk your hands back towards your feet. If you're in child's pose, just come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Hold here for a moment. Notice what's going on in the backs of the legs. Maybe we've forgotten how tight they were. Maybe they're a little better now. Maybe not, that's okay. Press through both your feet, bend your knees, come all the way up. You can come up slow because your head's been down for a while. And then lift your head. Reach your arms overhead, big stretch. Open through the front of the chest. Try not to push the hips forward. Awesome. Bring the arms forward from your shoulders. So again, kind of moving through chaos to stability and back and forth again, right? So our shoulders are in line with our back towards the back walls. If you're gonna push them back into the wall behind you. And then we're gonna move the right shoulder forward. So the right hand's gonna come forward. And then we're gonna move that right shoulder back. Left shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Right, back, left, back. Right, back, left, back. Right, back, left, back. Right, back, left, back. We're not really using much more of the body. We're just warming up a lot of shoulder here. Keep going. Let's do one more each side. Right, left, beautiful. Take the arms up. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna come to the ceiling. So you're gonna look up maybe. You probably can feel it, but if you need to see it, you can. Reach up to the ceiling and down, up to the ceiling and down. Right, down, left, down. Right, down, left, down. Right, down, left, down. Right? You don't have to do all of them. Take breaks and wiggle out your shoulders if you need to. Bend your knees a little bit if you need to. Keep going if you're on it. If you're feeling it. One more. Beautiful. Bring the hands down. Shake them out. So breaking up our normal routine with a little chaos. We're going to make that faster. Arms come forward. So I want you to imagine, you can place your hands together here. I want you to imagine you're going to start a fire, okay? So we're going to start a fire by moving rapidly. Just kind of going. Keep going. You're going to feel those arms. Your heartbeat's probably going up. It might be with anger though. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're almost there. 3 more times. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Up. I promise we'll get a break after this. Ready? So we're going to try and make a fire in the sky. Here it goes. Just keep rubbing. Just keep rubbing. Keep the arms straight. Keep rubbing. Keep rubbing. Gauge your core. Keep rubbing. Keep rubbing. Find that heartbeat. A little bit of chaos. Keep going. Keep going. And release. Woo! Those arms shake out. That's right. A little bit of chaos. And we go back to our practice. Arms up. Forward fold. All right, those arms are probably a little tired, but that's okay. So are probably the legs. Walk them all the way out. Find your down dog. Right on. Let's find that right leg. Bring it forward. Awesome. I'm going to lean back just a bit because I think I'm going to come out of the screen. So from here, the right knee's over your ankle. You're going to spin your left heel to the floor. Right heel lines up with your left instep. And we're going to come all the way up into warrior two. Your arms are going to come out to the side here. Right knee over your ankle. Don't let it roll in. Keep it moving back. Now the arms are probably a little tired, so let's go ahead and place the arms behind us. Try interlacing your fingers and just moving the arms back, getting a nice stretch for the front of your shoulders, and then bending that right knee a little more. Good. You can turn the head and look over that right shoulder. Maybe release the gripping of the toes. One more breath. Good job, guys. Release the arms. Find a block if you're using it. Place that block to the highest height behind your ankle. If that's not happening today, the right hand's going to go behind your ankle. You're going to come back into your triangle pose, lifting your left arm up. There's a fly in here trying to attack me. And then from here, we're going to take that left hand to our left hip, and we're going to once again bend that right knee. Let's take our block about a foot to the right. So you're going to take it from the pinky toe side, or your hand in this case. You're going to lift your left heel, and we're going to drag that left big toe in towards the right heel. My left hip's going to keep moving back to the wall behind me as I lift the left leg. Left toes facing forward, and the left arm can come up here if it wants to. If this is too much of a balance today, work on just holding this, having the foot down. Work on just finding that balance. Try to get that block under your right shoulder. Keep breathing. Hold on to it just a little longer, and by hold on to it, really feel into it. What parts are giving way? What parts are the hardest to hold? Awesome, last breath. Great job. Take that left hand to your left hip, bend your right knee, and let's step back into a triangle. So, stepping back, hand behind your ankle, triangle pose for dismount, and then bend that right knee. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's move through a down dog first. Lift your back heel, down dog. Or child's pose. Remember, there's chaos and then finding your stillness within it. Letting your breath go back to normal. All right, let's get that left foot forward. Take your left foot forward in between your hands. Have a block handy if you're going to be using it today. Go ahead and start to spin that right heel to the mat, lining up the instep and the heel, and then come into Warrior Two. Remember, that was our first stage. Arms come out to the side, shoulder blades draw down and back, center of the chest lifts. The left knee wants to roll in, I want you to keep it open. Oh my goodness, I'm totally running out of time, I'm sorry guys. Hold here. Stay with it. Bring the hands behind your back, interlace, move the arms back and behind you a little bit. All right, let's take it into that triangle and then into Ardha Chandrasana. Block to the high height, straighten that left leg, right hand to your right hip. Triangle first, bend the knee, walk the block forward, lift the back leg. Holding here and breathing. We're going to be here for 3 or 4 breaths. Awesome. Take that right hand to your right hip. This time, instead of stepping back, we're going to step right down next to our left foot and forward fold. Let's go ahead and bend both knees. Bring our hips to the floor. From here, lift the center of your chest. And we're going to go ahead and take a simple twist here. So we'll go ahead and cross the legs. Take your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. And then come back through center, take it to the other side. Come back through center again, lift the center of your chest. Exhale, forward fold, reach the arms forward. And then from this position, go ahead and roll up. And we're going to lay down onto our backs. But we're going to end class today in a variation of Shavasana. You can always go into a longer one if you have more time. The knees are going to come into your chest. And then we're going to place the feet onto the floor. Open the knees out wide. Take the soles of your feet together. And you can place blocks under your thighs if you need to, or anything under your hips that you need to, and then place your hands onto your pelvis, or one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. So we just did a lot of work of moving from chaos to stability and then back into chaos and back into stability. So now we're going to focus on stability with our breath. We're just going to take a couple minutes here. As you inhale, feel the belly rise, feel the chest lift. And as you exhale, feel your chest fall and your belly fall. Inhaling into the abdomen and then the chest. And then exhaling from the chest and the abdomen. And again, staying here, breathing into that space. Letting your whole mind process the breath and the movement of the body with the breath. And since I am obviously running shorter on time, I'll let you know that we have about a minute before 10. For those of you who can sit longer, you can go ahead and extend your legs into Shavasana. Let your arms rest down by your sides. And for those of you who have to get up to go to work, you can pull the knees together and roll to your right side and come to seated. And just start to let the breath be deep and slow. And then from here, if you'd like to extend that Shavasana, feel free to just keep staying in place, and I will end my recording. And if you are seated up with me, bring the hands together, bow the head. If you're in Shavasana, come out when you feel like coming out. And for everyone else, thank you so much for being a part of my Chaos to Stability class. I hope to see you back here again on Friday,